Ja, maar daar is baie plek. Good morning, welcome back to the Motorcycle Preservation Society. This is a video I did not want to make, and it's a video I'm not really looking forward to make, but I have the time now apparently. So this is the current state of the garage. We have to move a motorbike that's going into long-term storage, at least the best, on here on the bench. It's locked up currently, so I'm not sure exactly how we'll move it, but yeah, so Gert blew up spectacularly. It was flames and smoke. So I'll take you along the journey for those that's been following along. I quickly want to do a photo for myself, so just out of interest. Gert is a race bike, it's a 711, we'll uncover quickly there. But just to show you this quickly, it's a very special race bike. Every race I've entered, I basically got a trophy, a podium, and or it blew up. Once it was an oil line, and now this severe failure. So I'll do a little display there on the bike. We'll take it off the trailer and then we'll see what we can see. So yeah, there we have it. So we had the SAE, the South African Endurance Series of Southern South Africa, of South Africa. Yesterday at Killarney in Cape Town. Oh, it's oil everywhere. It's the same series I've been following with Swartkops and PE, Alles Krubante, earlier this year. This is my home track, so I was quite looking forward to it. That's the reason I bought Gert, was actually to ride other tracks, and it was quite cool that they finally came down after a year and a half. Well, actually since 2018, but since I've joined, we came down to Cape Town. It was a wet race yesterday, the second race. The first race was on Friday. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this, but there's some carnage. That's just the oil I could touch from the side of the bike. But yeah, the gear lever came undone. I'll bring you in a bit closer now when I unstrap it, or maybe I must do it now. So it was a chain reaction of sorts. Last lap, last corner, the gear lever came undone. And is that better? Can you see better? So yeah, so last lap, last corner in the back straight, gear lever came undone. I looked down, I saw it was hanging, and I looked up and I could see the brake marker. I don't know, the 200 meter brake marker is about 200 meters away, so I don't know, 400 meter odd. I have to keep it in fourth. It's only got 1100 motor, 5 gears, 5-speed box. So yeah, she revved why I kept it going about 100 meters into that 400 meter ride in fourth gear. It was about 11,500 revs, which is basically the red line on the 750 motors. The 750 CDI and 750 rev counter. I think 8.5 they say is safe for these. 10 is flirting with them. But yeah, she sang at 11.5, or he rather, so it's Gert. He's a robberbliksem. Every time you start it, he asks you, are you brave? So that's Gert. Quite like Gert, he scares me a bit, but a lot. But yeah, so Gert sang at 11.5 for about 100 meters. Before I heard a little krrk noise. And initially I looked down and just hoped, I assume, or I thought that it was the mechanism somehow hitting the chain, because it had a very fast noise. You're doing a good, I don't know, 260, wasn't fourth, I don't know, 250, 240 down there. And as I looked down, it was a split second, and it was smoke and flames and sparks, and it was spectacular. The oil does catch fire when it hits the exhaust. I've known that from seeing previous of these blow up and so. But yes, it was quite a noise. It was quite a racket. I was quite taken away. Taken awakened by the noise. So yeah, so I immediately pulled off the circuit, went straight to turn 5. It's into the brake marker of the last corner. It happened. So I aimed at the marshals. They do scuttle around if you're coming in there a bit hot. I used the rear brake, the rear wheel as my brake, the actual gearbox. So I always fed it a clutch. That's how I don't have a slipper clutch. I don't really touch the rear brake, but that's how I control the rear, is with the motor. So it was quite hard. When it happened, I immediately pulled in a clutch. I know these lock up, and so I just aimed to the right and kept the front brake, and hoping that the momentum won't keep the oil coming back. But yeah, so all in all, it was spectacular. But I just want to do a little bit of a respect to a legend. So yeah, let me grab a few of these. I'll start with the ones I knew I got first, or in some order at least. So when I got the bike, I bought the bike for the South African TT, the SA TT. That would have been Jan 24. It started at East London, then we went to Kyalami. But I bought the bike the end of 23 after I heard of all this whole CSRA, actually the Classic Superbike Racing Association. They didn't this year join the SAE, South African Endurance Series. But anyway, so it was the end of 23, week before PE. I bought the bike and I entered PE the next week. First time I was on a race bike since 2018, so about 5-6 years. Entered the first race, got first in Historics and Classics, and in the PE 200 first in the Classic with the Historic. But I think I was the only bike entered, and the majority of us was wondering if the bike would actually survive. I did enter the next year again, last year, and also positioned, I think, second. But yeah, so this is reliable. I did, however, then run a second battery. The first year I ran my cell phone charger, jumper pack, wired to the existing system. And then last year I just bought a new battery for my dirt bike, used the old dirt bike 7 amp hour battery and some wires, and then yeah, so no charging system, lossless system. I'll go into some random order here. So yeah, F1 second place, this was at Kyalami in February. That was part of the SATT. I'll go a bit faster. This is second place, November 24, PE 200. So that was last year, so it was 23 and 24. This is another big part of it. This is all the regional Killarney, second place, second, a lot of second. There's a few fast guys in Cape Town with their classics. And I'm not even now referring to Dani, which didn't race this year. So yeah, there's a lot of fast guys in Cape Town, especially on the classics. I think we've got a very strong classic class. But I'll come back to that now. I'll grab a few more, speed us up a bit. Classic championship overall for last year came third. You'll see the amount of regionals. I did not intend to do regional racing in Cape Town. I bought a bike to do the other tracks, which will bring back to a big point. Classics, MJ Racing first. I think this is also a regional, not sure. And then we have Lime Properties. I think this is all part of the championship. I can't remember even. So this, some of them are this year. So this is this year. I rode twice before the SAE came down. Yeah, sure. Anyway, so this is now part of the SAE, which is the national event. And Swartkops second, Fergal beat me. And then PE, Aldous Krubante second, Jamie Hall beat me. And then yesterday, Friday, I was dicing again for second. Jamie was ahead of again. And yeah, so there we have it. As I mentioned, every race I've entered, there was another PE race where the bike blew up, the oil line. I'll put a photo in there. And then there's as well the race yesterday. So all other races, all had actually either podium one or went out with a spectacular bang. But yeah, we'll get the big parts that's missing is in the front here. The small bits came past my leg. So yeah, so Gert will unload now in a bit. I haven't unloaded, it was raining for the last few days. But I'll start unpacking. We have to get this bike on the bench. I have to drain the fuel. There is some volatile additive apparently in the fuel which will eat the rubbers. So I'll have to drain the carbs and it's going into long-term storage. So I'll get into the plans a bit later, but I first just want to do homage. I think that's the word. To Gert. For shot in the heart. Shot in the heart. So yeah, as I mentioned, my heart is quite broken about it. I know it's not the end of the world, but it is definitely the end of the road for me, for this. Ah, there you guys are. Jeez, can you guys see? It's weird, I've been trying this now for the first time as well. I mentioned something about volatile fuel. I'll have to move that somewhere safe. I was still spannering until the night after race on the bike. Brand new challenge sprockets. That's so just to tally it up. I knew I'm gonna sell this bike at some point. It's one of the reasons I'd never sprayed it, because it's still the old team colours, Springbok versus Scotland. They built 4, to my knowledge at least. This is all that I've heard and followed. So they built 4, 2 slings, 2 pre-slings. The one was sold to a guy in East London, one of the last ones, when I was there as well. Oh, this is heavy. There's still fuel in here. Didn't finish the racing. And that one ran crank. During the first SATT, 6 of these blew up. That is with the guys from overseas. So they are reliable. The one guy, Kostermans, he's lasted 6 years. So yeah, sorry, as I mentioned, they joke and say these old slings, they get older, but they do get faster. I need to keep on making them faster and faster. So I had spare wet rims. Somebody threw this over somebody else's wall in 2015. Then I went to fetch it this week. It was full of spiders. I had to spray some Doom in there to get the spiders out. Then black bag it, or green bag it. And then, yeah, fitted it on the rim, never needed it. So yeah, at the cost of racing, yeah, it's one of the big factors for my decision of just parking it, thinking about it another day. Anyway, so they built 4 of those, 2 slings, 2 pre-slings. We'll make, oh, there's a lot of cuckers gonna go in the garage now. So the one crashed in 2018, bless his heart, Gavin Ramsey. So yeah, that family apparently still has that one. This one was Les, his son Graham raced it. Les has also passed. So there's one left, the pre-sling left that I know of in East London, and this was the one sling. So yeah, I'm not sure what the next steps are. I know, but I'm trying to, I don't know, 5% of me wants to convince myself otherwise. The reality is, man, spare sprockets. The reality is, I bought it for the SATT last year. I wanted to finish the year, I wanted to do PE again. Bought it on the personal loan, first of all, let me start there. So the idea was to do the year, and at the end of the year sell the bike. You know, take out a loan, have your fun, sell, and then the bit that it cost you, is it worth it? And I thought it, specifically the way I wanted to do it end of last year, I might have shoot in hindsight have sold it. But one more race, one more year. So yeah, this I need to unload later. Oh, everything's full of oil. Let me just wash my clothes. So I kept it this year because I sold my bucky. Got some of, this is the boots, it's full of oil. So yeah, so money just, we have to rinse that down in the suit as well. Yeah, sorry mom. My mom gave me a box of old towels. So yeah, it's now one-time nappies, one-time use nappies. The paddock stands I can probably unload some. This box of tools we need. Definitely need the box of tools. So yeah, I did race at our local racetrack, Killarney, for a few years, for 6 years to be precise. 6 seasons. I missed like 2 races, I think, in the time. One was my father-in-law's birthday, 60th, and his 70th is coming up this year. So you know, maybe it's a sign. So I missed one race in 2015 with R108, and then I think I was sick one or the bike broke. But I missed like 2 races in 6 seasons. That's out a local racetrack, yeah, which was fun until it wasn't. Just the same. I asked myself the question back then: am I just doing it now because it's a hobby? That's what I do, or am I actually still enjoying it? And I found myself traveling and taking photos of stars and a lot of stuff. So it was very good while it lasted. Oh, it was cold at the track. Yeah, it was cold. It was cold. Used my wife. Sorry about that. Actually, she won't complain. So yeah, so I wasn't planning on riding at the local regional track again, but you can see the few trophies already. It is close by, so I do make a turn there to test the bike or whatever. And so I carried on this year doing some more tracks. Swartkop's particularly is the only actual one I've never ridden, which then was included this year. And it was a blast. I did not ride as nice or like as I wanted. The tyre dropped off. There was a lot of weird stuff happening there. I think mostly it was suspension settings. My bad, but whatever. We had fun and we went to PE again with them. It was fun. And then yeah, so this was the big one. I always told my wife there's 6 races this year from part of the SAE. And I would make the call at the halfway mark, which is this race, because the first 3 I can do. It's, the Swartkop's one I already had a lift with a friend, thanks John. And then the others were remaining. The PE one I could do. I went with him, but I PE 200 last year. I jumped in the car, slept in the car, camped out of the car, had my fridge in the back. I sold my bucky, but I kept all the camping stuff, solar panel and fridge and freeze and everything. A water tank in the car, shower water. So that's nice for me. It's cheap, I can afford it, and yeah, and it's a hell of a lot of fun to ride it. It's a very nice track. It's got elevation. It's not just a flat track, if it makes sense. Ooh, I'm gonna sit here and look at this bike for a while. Let me get comfy. Oh, I forgot the pin. Oh, my gloves. Oh, it was cold. Did I mention it was cold at the track? And where's the pin? I was looking for this pin. Gert almost lit off again. Just wants to run. Let me see if you guys are still on there. Yeah. Making this DJI cameras, eh? They've been a long way since the GoPro days. They're a completely different brand, eh? The Chinese, I think. Don't know. Oh man, I put new hand grips on, a new chain, new sprocket, new alley sprocket, 520, 47. The bike was revving a bit high, the last regional. We initially had an issue with the carbs where the float bowls ran empty. So this also needs some cleaning. The float bowls kept running empty. It doesn't have a fuel pump, eh? But the suction, the vacuum of the motor, the engine is the pump. It's a motor pump. So this flat slide, so it was sucking fuel too fast, so I had to adjust. It's got weird, so like a cam lever for the slide adjustments. It's not a screw you turn. So I'm very versigtig in Afrikaans is the word, hesitant. Do not touch stuff I don't know. So I've got a neighbor that also helped me, and I had to make a few phone calls. Thanks, Mike. So yeah, so it was a whole thing. The old carb motor, it was awesome. Okay, it makes a lot of noise, eh? Oh man, it's one thing. One thing I know for sure. Everybody says you can't. It's just the motor. No, it's not just the motor. That's Gert's heart. That's what made that bike. Was that engine, in my opinion, at least. The rest is fairly OEM stuff. Shocks, brakes, the 2-pot OEM. Got a whole bunch of them. People give them away. Nissan 2-pots. I did put braided hoses on there and bought the previous discs warped. It's laying there. So yeah. Oh man, such a bummer, hey? Anyway, to me it's terminal, but to somebody else it's fixable, I hope. Or salvageable, or get some parts. Okay. I've already lost my spirit. Go team. So yeah, so just the reality is I finished at other tracks. I couldn't afford to ride more at other tracks, but they're going to Joburg again. The half the season was Cape Town, the other half is in Joburg. Kailami, which I have ridden, which is quite cool, but it's I think 8,000 rand entry. They're running at a loss, I assume, or through the grapevine. Apparently there's a 25 million DSTV contract that needs to be fulfilled, and I assume we are subsidizing that. Somebody asked once, do you get money racing? And I said, no, you spend a lot of money racing. You pay to be in the show, to be the star of the show. So yeah, unfortunately racing costs a lot of money. Ah man, where do we even start? Keep on telling my wife, you must never lay down. I don't want to, so I really dripped oil on my driveway. Always have to keep your feet moving. Get your feet moving. Oh, it's still cold. Let's see if I can squeeze in here without spilling too much oil. Leave the running some charges a bit. Oh man. Just grab some of those towels maybe. I think I'll put you guys in a hyperlap. This might take a while. Let me just try and figure some stuff out here. So yeah, all swept up and cleaned. I had a neighbor come and help me. Luckily, it seems I haven't pissed off all the neighbors yet. Some are still willing to give me a hand. So let me just turn the light on here. Oh, it is on. It just looks so dark and gloomy. So yeah, let's have a quick look. I'm not going to start working on the bike today, if ever. I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to sleep on it some more and then some more. Whatever I spend on it, I'm not going to get back in value most probably. I did not want to ride the rest of the regionals at Killarney for the next year or 2 years. Not offense to Killarney, it's just I've done it for 6 years, as I mentioned earlier. And doing that for another, I was even looking this year, I was thinking, is it worth the money just to go circulate at Killarney if I'm not doing the SAE, I'm not going up to Kailami. Is it worth keeping the bike? And that's a real question for me. I've got camping stuff. I like to go camping. I like different hobbies, taking photos of stars. So I would like to keep the legacy alive. The bike, I would like the bike to be ridden and rebuilt, but yeah, I'm not sure if I am the person to take on this task. As I mentioned, can you see me? As I mentioned, I was already almost done with the bike in my opinion. I already did what I wanted to do, accomplish. I wanted to ride the other tracks in South Africa. There's a few I did not. Pakisa, there's a thing in Carte Blanche tonight by chance, which I would quite like to see as well. It's one of the tracks I missed. It's been derelict for a few years now. It's been, I think, raided for aluminium parts and stuff. Anyway, so Desi's, but apparently this bike would have been a bit big for Desi's and it's far away. Swartkops I did, the Red Star I never did. So there's a few. Midval, I grew up in Van der Bijl. Midval, just yeah, speed spot. So yeah, but I did the majority, or at least the Kailami was the big one for me. East London, Potters I always wanted to do. PE is always a blast. Killarney, I'm glad I rode this at Killarney in the race. I rode it a few times. I live 2 k's away from Killarney. So yeah, oh Gert, he sang. And he sang hard. Let me put the front paddock on as well. So yeah, I'll start doing basic stuff. Like draining the fuel. There is some stuff in there that might eat the rubbers. Don't want to cause unnecessary work or damage. So fuel will be drained. I'm not sure if I should pull the head or leave the head. I don't want stuff getting lost. Sorry, I'm just trying to maneuver. This was Frank Tonks. This old drag bike. Not sure who of you knows Frank Tonks, but he had a GSX, not GSX-R, the GSX Katana motor before the Katana motor. The drag bike, I think it was a 7-second bike. Long, I'll put a photo in here. And we kept in touch. I almost bought a bike, and just the actuated shifter, just the idea of going from 0 to, I don't know, 250 in 6 seconds, 7 seconds was just, sounded quite cool. So anyway, we kept in touch. We still do kinda chat here and there on Facebook, but it's his old bench. The bike was sold, I think Talton, somebody has it, I'm not sure, but it's, I think it's a museum piece now. But that would be quite cool to, anyway, to have a look at again. So yeah, so the gear lever came loose, and then chaos ensued. So yeah, this is quite a bummer. So I think I'll end off the video here. Oh, yeah, this is the bigger bits that was left in the belly pan. There's some smaller bits under that, and then yeah, obviously there's a window from a dowel to the other side. I'm just trying to put on my torch. So yeah, so it's just the one rod, number 4 that went, but she's hanging there. She's hanging down there. So it was a loud bang. So I'm not sure if the head's fine. I guess I should probably pull the motor to pull the head. But as I say, as soon as you start taking stuff off, I was already hesitant about a fairing. Whoever buys it must put the fairing back on. The fairing is probably the easy bit. Maybe I should just do the air fairing. But you're not going to be really more visibility in there. So let's see what happens. Part it out, carbs, I don't know, 15 discs, rims. Who buys them? The WP rear shock. Thousands. It's got a rear shock, it's got a Brembo, RC rebuilt Brembo, it's got DC pads, proper discs, nice exhaust. I don't know, 20 as is. Is that too much? Is that too little? Put a Bandit motor in it. Got the Brembo rebuild. Extra calipers, I've got a box of calipers, I'll put a photo of that on. So yeah, she sang there. I did not have the camera on. I was quite a bit sad about that. I was such a rush. I put new chains and sprockets. Actually, half the box here still was on the bench. I think I showed it earlier. Still had a brand new 47. I went two down from 48 to 47 to get out of the danger zone. Actually, in the fifth gear on the track. It's still stuck in fourth, eh? I wouldn't be surprised if the bike still fires on 3 cylinders. There was, however, a slight fire, but I think it was just the oil on the exhaust. I did shoot in here with the fire extinguisher. Okay, the oil pan would have had the oil in there as well. Anyway, I think I'll log off the video here. Thanks guys, see you again, keep you updated. Hallo my vrou, gaan dit? Goed. Is dit? Kalversie? Hi. Guess this is me throwing in the towel. Supposed to fall off.